Hello there, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us today. This whole show will be available on Rumble. You might be watching us on YouTube right now. But the whole show will be available on Rumble exclusively. So join us over there because we're asking, does America require constant war in order to function? And if it does that mean that it looks for illegitimate wars that it then claims are legitimate in order to keep the war machine fed? Specifically, is Taiwan going to be the next Ukraine? What do the Taiwanese people feel about that? Do they even want to be the next Ukraine? Particularly when the revelations of Buddy Boy Texeria have just made plain as, that is his name, made plain as day, at the risk of a 3,000-year sentence, plain as day that the Ukraine war is not going how the US government are telling us it's going. We've got Biet Simkin coming on. She's one of my breathwork teachers, one of my favourites. She'll help us how to deal with, she'll show us how to deal with living in a constant climate of crisis and deception using transcendent techniques that I think are going to help you in particular.
She's going to help you with your burping.
Nothing can be done about that.
No.
The finest minds in medicine have thrown down their stethoscopes in despair and said, burp on, son.
All right.
There ain't nothing can be done. Then we're going to have a deep dive into a news story that I'm not even going to tell you about because it's so damned exclusive and thorough that they won't be able to handle it. They say you can handle it. Let me know in the comments. Can you handle the truth? Do you think you can handle the truth, or do you need men with guns on a wall by a wall so you can sleep at night? You know, Jack Nicholson. Then on Rumble, we're going to be talking about the mainstream media are finally catching up with where we've been for some time. You know that 1 in 800 thing, which we won't mention on YouTube. 1 in 800. Even the mainstream are reporting about that, and let's call them injuries.
Nice.
What are you smiling about?
No, well, tiptoed again, yes.
I am good at tiptoeing. All right, let's have a look. Oh, right. One of the reasons we think that Ukraine might be usurped by Taiwan is because even now, 25 US defense contractors are over there visiting. Why, if what Taiwan need is help from presumably imperialist, oppressive China, and I'm not, again, saying that China aren't imperialist and oppressive and that there aren't groups within Taiwan who want to throw off the shackles of Chinese rule and just dying for Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and everyone to get involved. Why is it, in particular, it's defence contractors that go?
I mean, I think the point is, what's it got to do with America? Like it is with a lot of cases.
Like when I'm having trouble in my own life, why don't America come round and say, well, we could sell you a missile if you want? They would if they thought I could afford one, but they're very pricey. Even the aeroplanes that don't work that well can cost $1 trillion. Around 25 US defence contractors plan to send representatives to Taiwan next month, marking the first time the arms industry will send a delegation to the island since 2019. So they've been doing it. It's not that long ago, is it? The planned arms industry trip to Taiwan it's not a very nice holiday, agitating for a war against another superpower. It's like they've run out of countries that they can beat now, like the Afghanistan war took ages, Iraq war, in a sense, still being fought on a sort of a low level.
These are the big two, though, isn't it? China and Russia.
This is you're in the big leagues now.
You're in the big leagues. You are selling weapons for decades on this.
This can run and run because you can't actually have an out-and-out hot war with China or Russia, even though Buddy Boy Texera's revelations suggest that there are American troops on the ground engaged in combat, making it not a proxy war but an actual war. But that's Buddy Boy's views, not mine.
Well, his revelations, you could
Revelations
say.
And not his views. He didn't write them papers himself.
I think his views are like, hey, bro, check this out. Those are his views.
I'm the OG.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah.
Diggity diggity, things like that.
Oh yeah, that's the language.
That's his views, but his actual revelations.
Diggity diggity.
I think they say diggity
no, they
diggity.
do. You're right.
Do they say that now?
Yeah, you could be one of them.
I go on those chat rooms.
Yeah, you could fit
I pose there for a while.
Yeah, diggity diggity, yo.
Diggity diggity. You could have got any revelations on there. Got a show coming up later. We could do with a revelation or two. So anyway, look, they're off there to Taiwan and they're going to exacerbate tensions, presumably with Beijing, unless Beijing want, missiles in Taiwan. I don't know. It's not as if the US have surrounded China with military bases, is it? Have they been doing that?
They have been doing that.
Let's have a look at how ABC News are reporting this story. And it's good news, as always, because it's Ross from Friends, a.k.a. Sideways Head, doing the job of reporting the news. Now, you may have begun to think that the primary function of the media is to propagandize on behalf of the state. That's what you might have started thinking. You've been watching the news thinking, is this news?
Is Elon right, you might think?
Is Elon right? Does where the money come from make a difference in the way they relay information? You might have started thinking that. That's up to you. But Sideways Ross from the news has got a thing or two. You're going to get ready to eat those words, because Sideways Ross has got news for you. Here is that news, the news.
China now warning Taiwan it is, quote, ready to fight in what our Brit Clinton witnessed inside Taiwan.
Tonight, China's military...
Actually, or she has gone inside Taiwan. Which is good, isn't it? If you're going to do a story about Taiwan, go there. If you're going to sell them some weapons, go there. Go Taiwan and get it done. Which will be a good slogan for this whole war, I think.
Declaring it's ready to fight after finishing 3 days.
Taiwan war is another potential Taiwan war. Taiwan the war. These are all, you know, I'm just no bad ideas in the brainstorm, we say.
Days of combat drills simulating a blockade to seal off Taiwan. The Taiwanese Defense Ministry saying it tracked a record 91 Chinese fighter jets in the last day of the exercise.
We've got to get... That's it. That's all I need to know. 91 Chinese fighter jets. What the hell are they doing up there?
Yeah.
War.
Get on that plane, Raytheon.
Get over there. There's 91... You could be selling... If they could sell jets to the Chinese, they've not even solved the proxy war with Russia yet, and they're moving on to the next proxy war. My children are like this. You buy them something, and they're not... You think, well, hold on a minute, you've not really played with that, and you're demanding it. Sometimes even by the time we've got to the counter. I'm never taking my kids shopping at Lockheed Martin. I tell you that. Oh, we just want these air-to-land missiles, Dad. Okay. Oh, this jet looks good. Oh, and then the Raytheon. Well, really, sir, you do need both for absolute defence. I mean, China were flying jets above your house just yesterday. Yeah. What's that, China? I thought it was a goose. Either way, sir, you're best off to have some missiles.
Sizes, dozens crossing over sensitive maritime borders around the island.
Well, not me maritime borders.
Oh, they're sensitive.
Ow, that's next to me nuts.
China's army even releasing an animated video of how Taiwanese sites would be targeted in an attack.
You sons of bitches. Even an animated video now. Wait till you see in a minute where American military bases are all wrapped around China. It's not a cartoon about what they might do. It's a map of where military bases actually are. You know, they're comparing imagination to reality, which is what mentally ill people do, don't they?
Do they?
We.
Beijing sending a clear signal over its claims to Taiwan and its anger over last week's meeting between Taiwanese leader Tsai Ing-wen with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the US last week. Faced with China's looming threat, a growing number...
There's a looming threat.
Looming threat.
It's looming.
Yeah.
You saw the cartoon.
Yeah.
Bloody thing. It went whoo like that, didn't it? Like Catherine will. You cannot be too careful. You cannot agitate too heavily. You cannot sell enough weapons.
No, that's perfect media speak, isn't it? Looming threat. Has anything actually happened? Well, no, but it's a looming threat.
What are you going to do? Ignore a looming threat? Just let it loom? Eventually it's going to topple forward and flatten you. That's what looming things do.
Yeah.
Like a lamppost. It's going to topple forward at you.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. I think what you really need to address is an economy that requires constant war in order to sustain itself. If that don't get addressed, I think what you're going to get is constant war in order to sustain it. Do you see Jon Stewart the other day talking to that lady, the defence lady?
Yeah.
She was so haughty and so full of herself.
Well, she just kept laughing at him, basically.
She thought being asked questions about the Pentagon failing audits 5 times in a row and being unable to track, trace or demonstrate billions of dollars of expenditure was actually quite funny. As if she was being told an anecdote about, like, sort of a fox on a golf course or something.
Sounds good, though.
I kept trying to, and then the fox, I think it ran off with the ball. It thought it was a duck egg. It's not a duck egg being ate by a fox on the 16th hole. This is a budget that potentially is not being correctly audited in order to conceal the necessary ongoing trade between the state with your taxpayer dollars and companies like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. And now suddenly China have got to be all looming in order to justify another war against the superpower. I don't know. Give me strength.
Regular citizens are learning to defend their homeland.
Right now, these guys are training in how to transition from a rifle to a handgun, the kind of combat techniques they say they're going to need to know if there's an invasion from China.
You're going to need to know is how to invest heavily in the products of Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. Being able to switch between a rifle and a handgun, like you're in a Tarantino movie.
But how good are those handguns and rifles?
Where did you get them?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Why get one? They're a matching set.
Yeah. I mean, the news, again, is basically a commercial, isn't it? It's a commercial for the military-industrial complex, for weaponry, for looming war.
Stupid.
David, these drills may not have been as big as others, but China says it's ready to smash any form of Taiwanese independence. David?
Britt Clinton tonight. Britt, thank you.
David, for once, move your head round to the front, just so we can trust you, for God's sake. Is the number of American military bases accruing around the Chinese border? I mean, that's alarming already. Let's see it animated to give us a bit more of a jolt.
The United States plays a major strategic role in the Indo-Pacific. With 375,000 personnel, there's a vast network of operations that extend from Hawaii all the way to India.
Okay, scary. What about these 200 military trainers that are in Taiwan now? Let's have a look at that.
The strange thing about that clip that we just saw was that was meant to be a positive thing. That was Sky News Australia saying, it's good this, isn't it?
Well, they've selected bad music for that.
Yeah, they have.
They've gone to the ominous section.
Yeah, what should it have been?
Like, humorous? Dum, 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 bada, bum, 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 like Benny Hill or something. Like,
Right.
You know, like the sound that you imagine my company in erections springing out of a nappy. Boing!
How?
Sorry, excuse me. Diaper. Out of a diaper. Boing! It's an adult.
Out of an adult nappy.
Yeah, it's an adult wearing a diaper.
I see.
Boing!
Why was that your example, an adult diaper?
Look now, there are over 200 U.S. missile bases around the border of China. Boing! So don't worry, because it's just an adult taking off their diaper, and why are they?
But why are they so excited?
Because of the diaper. It's a whole thing. Look at adult babies now, and you will have to. I don't know. It might worry.
Do you mean
actually.
me now?
Not you.
No.
You.
We'll concentrate
watching
on
this.
Taiwan.
Not if you're watching on YouTube,
No.
because I don't want them to get that business. You're better off looking at that on Rumble. They won't judge you. Yeah. So this. What's this now?
This is the Taiwanese people reacting to
This is good propaganda, in my view, because the American newscaster wants to elicit a propagandist response, like say stuff like China are bully boys.
Yeah, and you're really scared.
You're really scared.
And you need America's help.
You need America's help. Action!
In a recent survey from Taiwanese Public Opinion Foundation, more than half of people here said they believe Taiwan will become the next Ukraine. But here on the streets of Taiwan, when asked whether they're worried about an attack from China,
What worried about, I think, attacks from pythons
Yeah.
who appear to be accessories
That's right.
in contemporary Taiwan.
most people we speak to say they choose not to think about it.
I think we should just worry about Taiwan ourselves. It's not Taiwan and China. So yes, I'm not worried about it. I don't.
Are they Buddhist over there in Taiwan?
I don't know.
Can we find out what religion they are? Because what he seemed to be saying is there's no point projecting yourself into territory that is beyond your control. Just actually focus on the moment, stay present. That sounds a bit Buddhist to me.
Yeah, well, certainly when we don't know how much we can trust this propaganda, you know? I mean, that's...
He seemed all right.
Yeah, that's an enlightened position on media propaganda, isn't it?
They like Buddhism and Taoism over there. And the Tao, that's trusting the way, the path will unfold before you. It was working well for him. Buddhism, you know what that is, isn't it? It's paths,
We should all be a bit more like
noble
that.
truths. Yeah,
Shouldn't
well, that's
we?
what I've been trying to tell you. That's what Biet Simkin's coming on to do some brief work.
Oh, okay, nice link.
Brief breath work.
Very nice.
Get us in the right mood.
Yeah.
Instead of sat here contemplating what the hell goes on inside an adult
Well,
diaper.
I wasn't doing
it's frankly
that.
none of your business.
Just to make it clear, that was not
it's not even any of your business, is it, of yours?
I wasn't thinking about it. I've never thought that.
You're not.
I've never had that thought.
Like that, what's her name? Rennie DiResta at the censorship thing, at the censorship authority
Yeah.
in America. What's going on down those diapers? That could be dangerous.
Right.
Let me have a snoop.
Okay.
I can use this stick. Pull the band forward. Uh-oh. No, no, no.
Why does she make it into one of your warped fantasies? I don't... Michael Schellenberg will be horrified after he told us
He'll
that.
like this.
The way that you're using it.
Michael Schellenberger, you did the research. I'm delivering the news. Let us know in the comments below if you think this is the best rendering of your work as yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what the Taiwanese... Like, see this lady now, look at her. She's reflecting on the person's question. Let's see what she eventually says.
Make any opinion about that. I think I don't think it is because I can't do anything about that. Don't have the help.
You don't think America would help Taiwan?
Yeah.
为什么? Why?
因为美国跟中国中美贸易啊，
There's too much trade.
台湾很重要。
One's fine, isn't it?
Right.
I'd take my chances over there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's so Buddhist, they've checked out of the problem.
That's right.
That's the point. That's the point of ascending to a higher spiritual plane, so that when someone comes over and, are you worried now?
Well, also, they must recognise that, you know, if democracy exists, then they'll be able to exert some kind of power over this. But if democracy doesn't exist, then we'll just have to let governments and the military-industrial complex decide the outcome anyway.
I love it. I like Taiwan.
Yeah.
I actually think we should send them a lot of missiles because that's
Well,
kind
you're
of...
in luck in
that
that
piece
case.
needs protecting. Fortunately, there are 200 US military trainers in Taiwan right now. I would highlight that our support for and defence relationship with Taiwan remains aligned against the current threat posed by the People's Republic of China. Boo, Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Martin Miners told antiwar.com. The Wall Street Journal first reported in February that the US planned to deploy between 100 and 200 troops to Taiwan. The US only had about 30 troops on the island. They're up in the ante,
They certainly are.
is what that looks like.
Yep.
But the Pentagon do spend money in extraordinary ways. And when I say money, to specify, I mean your money. The Pentagon says record defence budget is necessary to compete with China. So there is, I suppose, like if we were doing, as you know, I was one of the main stars of Death Down the Nile, the Hollywood film.
I know. You were, I think, the main star, weren't
I
you?
was dressed as you in it. If you can get a steal, you'll see I'm dressed as... I played the part of Gareth Roy in
Right.
Death Down the Nile. And in that...
Is it called that?
That's right. Death Down the
I
Nile.
don't think it was even called
Solved
that.
by Poirot.
No. Did you take part in the promotion for that film?
Death Down the Nile. It's good, I said. I tell anyone, go see Death Down the Nile. It's one of the best.
Yeah.
They have to work out who done it. Motive? What's your motive? Well, here's your motive. Pentagon says record defence budget necessary to compete with China. The Pentagon's record high $842 billion budget request is only expected to increase before it's finalised. While China plans to increase military spending by more than 7% to $225 billion, the US continues to spend more on its military than the next 9 countries combined. So, theoretically at least, America could have a war with the next 9 countries, and it is actually trying to do that now.
Yeah, it is.
Because the next 9 countries are probably China, then Russia, I would guess. There's probably France.
Right.
They're doing it. Us, the UK, Germany.
Isn't there a statistic about America being involved in wars or disputes in over 80 countries or something?
They're always up to something, Gareth. That's the main news. The Germany, I still don't think they're allowed full budgetary largesse.
Right, in case.
You never know. The Defence Department fails another audit but makes progress. So this is it. So we don't know. We can't tell you, neither can the Pentagon tell you what happens to those billions, that 800 billions, assumed to is going to exceed
$1 trillion.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
But they won't even tell you where that's gone because they don't like to be audited. No one does, actually. 'cause
Well, no. Would you like it?
I hate being audited.
Right then.
Where'd you get that top? How
Yeah.
much was it?
Yeah.
It's exhausting. But I am not the Pentagon, as you can plainly see and tell. Although I am as auditable as they are,
Yes.
and as responsible for their expenditure as they are, as in so much as I will give you a brief accountancy review. They spent it, most of it, over half of it went to military industrial complex. Not enough went to troops. That's why 60% of them have unstable housing and 25% of them are using food stamps, and 11% of all homeless Americans are former vets.
Yep.
The Pentagon might not have been able to give you that.
No.
That was actually reliable data
It was.
right there.
Yep.
The Defence Department fails another audit, but has made progress. It's like they're a child that's having a tough time at school.
Yeah.
The Pentagon has failed another audit, But they're really trying their best
trying
at
hard.
PE, and we've noticed that. We've noticed that they didn't wet themselves. The Defence Department has failed its 5th audit, unable to account for more than half its assets. After 1,600 auditors combed through the DoD's $3.5 trillion of assets and $3.7 trillion in liabilities, officials found the department couldn't account for about 61% of its assets. So,
Well, we know where 50 of it went, don't we, already?
50% of all of it went to the military-industrial complex. So you only need to focus on the 50% that didn't go there. Now, if you want to see me playing Gareth Roy in Death Down the Nile, there I am, doing a damn good job of it.
Right. So I look like that in your mind?
Roughly, yeah. In that scene, I'm very concerned about what's happening over to my
I
right.
can tell that. I can see that the direction was there's something happening to the right of you. Look concerned.
Kenneth Branagh would have said something along the lines of, Russell, as you know, you're one of the best actors on the set and in the world.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just pretend, if you will, that something over there on your right,
To the right of you.
is cause for grave concern. And Rose there,
Well, you're
Rose
doing it much
McGowan,
better than she is.
Much better. She's
Look at
got
her.
Game of Thrones, isn't she?
Right.
Rose, but she's
Staring straight ahead.
no good. After the minute we'd finished that shot, I went, Rose, I can't carry Death Down the Nile alone.
I can't be the only one who thinks that who's trying
Something
to convey
over to
that
the right.
something to the right of us is happening.
Imagine it's China, a looming threat, Rose.
Yeah.
Looming. Imagine over there's China. They're in an adult diaper.
Right.
Like that, Rose.
Is that what Branagh told you to think about?
I
Is
think
it a Branagh technique?
Not in so many words, Gal, but I think that's what he was driving
That's
at.
what he was alluding to.
I think what you're saying, Ken, can I call you Ken?
Yeah.
No, please don't. Call me Sir Kenneth. Sir Kenneth. Would you like me to imagine the personification of the People's Republic of China in an adult diaper? They pulled forward the waistband of a diaper.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Russell, I'd like you to get off the set now.
Yeah.
You've damaged this film.
Yeah, you will not be taking part in the promotion.
Now, listen. We're going to go over to Rumble now.
Yes.
I'll tell you why, because you might have thought what we said already was controversial. It wasn't. This is, though.